Hey everybody, it's Allie and welcome to our Y&R chat for Sunday, July 17th, 2016. As I mentioned last week, I have a family thing to go to, so I am doing an audio-only quickie version of our chat today. Just imagine that we're snuggled up in our pajamas together because I'm in my pajamas right now. Truth be told, I had to really rush through getting Y&R watched this week. I was thrilled that Phyllis didn't go through with telling Jack because I knew I wasn't going to be able to do a full chat. And I'm like, oh no, if this affair comes out on a week where I am strapped for time, I'm going to be so disappointed. So whew, thank goodness for Y&R tricking us only on that one. I was also going to die if if Catherine Chancellor's mansion ended up getting a complete and total remodel on a week where I wasn't able to unleash the full power of my video as well. I tell you, as soon as I saw the opening credits of, what was it, Monday or Tuesday's show, where Jess Walton was being billed, I was immediately over the moon. I was like, oh yes, Jill is in this episode. It's gonna be good. I kind of wonder if Y&R brought her back just so that she could reveal that there was a loophole in the contract where she signed over the mansion to Billy. The loophole says that at any time, if she decides that she wants to take the house back, she can take the house back and Billy would only be allowed to have a suite there. How evil is that in a way? I mean, Billy, you didn't check that contract. It seems like kind of a significant clause. I love these little hidden clauses in these contracts. I thought that was really, really funny. And of course, I loved all of the jabs throughout the week about that hideous paint color. I mean, as soon as Jill walks into the mansion, she can't help herself from commenting about the color. And as the week progressed, I can't believe I'm making this the top story, but to me it is, okay? As the week progressed, all of a sudden, Jill is making good on her threat to take back the mansion. She's got painters coming to the house to redo it. I thought, this is fantastic. Are you kidding me? It's actually gonna happen? I mean, Jill was there for maybe 1 or 2 episodes to make snide comments about Billy's paint color choice and, of course, to kind of butt up in his life, which only Jill could do. If it was any other character, I would have been so annoyed with her because she treats Billy like a child. She can't let him paint the walls the color he wants to. I mean, I'm on Jill's side on that, but, from a different perspective, I can completely see being annoyed with her. Getting up in his business as well about his, going to his ex-wife, going to Victoria and encouraging them to get back together. She's definitely a busybody. I mean, I suppose she's a typical mom, but because it's Jill, I'm completely willing to forgive it. And just the fact that she would have the painter there without Billy's permission, it is kind of his house. He's been living there and she just took it back. She snatched it back. I'm fine with it. I was even laughing about Jill sending Cain to kind of be her representative, and even Cain was in there talking about the paint color, having like sort of funny remarks about whether it's blue or gray or it's kind of a swamp gray. I really think Y&R is responding to the fact that the fans did not like that set and felt that it was disrespectful to Catherine to change it so dramatically, or at least that it felt so Y&R like, or that it was something that we were holding on to and really enjoying, and the fact that it changed so dramatically. I really think Y&R, I mean, I don't know, does it have anything to do with the fact that we had this change in leadership at Y&R? Did somebody come in and say, all right, order of business 1, we are gonna undo this paint job? I don't know. But I really kind of think, I mean, they were Billy was including his kids kids sort of embracing the new paint job. They were painting it yellow on the staircase. So are we gonna see in a couple of weeks the remodeled mansion? I mean, I'm gonna flip out. There better not be a family thing scheduled for the week when they actually reveal the new mansion, which I think they're gonna do. Okay, enough of that. Let's get back to originally what I was going to talk about was Phyllis and Jack, because at the beginning of the week, it actually seemed like they were making progress on their marriage. It actually seemed like they might go through even with making love, and it was so nice. I thought, all right, we're maybe getting back on track, but then it was ruined in about 5 seconds when Victoria comes to Phyllis and asks her if she would testify on Victor's behalf to get him out of prison, since he, did her that one favor of saving her life after doing those other horrible things to her. And I mean, unfortunately, Jack accidentally kind of took the stance of not minding the idea of Phyllis testifying, or it kind of came off as in Jack was siding with Victoria, and it made Phyllis feel all the more isolated. She was not willing to jump on board the Victor bandwagon and say, sure, let's forgive him and help get him out of jail. No, that man hurt me. That man abused me passively, and I'm not gonna just turn around and tell the world that I think he deserves to be free and walking around, and I don't appreciate the fact that my husband doesn't see that. So rather than really talking with Jack and connecting with him and trying to have an adult conversation about it, she runs out on him. And who does she run to? Billy. She runs from Jack to Billy. She runs from Billy to Jack. Phyllis does not know who she is at this point. She does not know what she wants at this point. I said almost Billy and Jack are in much better positions in the fact that they actually know what they want. She runs to Billy's house thinking, well, Billy will understand this. Billy has always been the one who really got what Victor did to me and why I feel the way I feel. By the way, I really dislike Billy's new haircut. What do you guys think about his new do? It looks like a military buzz to me. Before he was giving me bad boy, there was a little just, motorcycle riding guy, and now he looks like he should be in uniform or something. I don't know. I don't like the haircut. And the attitude coming from Billy is getting more and more pressury. He was pressuring Phyllis to make her decision. He's getting fed up with the affair more than she is. She's trying to take her time to figure out what she wants, but Billy knows what he wants, and he wants Phyllis to choose. And when she doesn't give him what he wants to hear, he just says, I'm done. Fine, I'm done. So I guess at this point, it's sort of left on that note between Billy and Phyllis that their relationship is just done. And so in which case, what does she do? She runs back to Jack. She just bounces back and forth between them. And she tries to talk to Jack, though, to her credit. I was kind of thinking maybe that she would try to build a bridge back to him, because she apologizes. She says, I'm sorry, I ran out. I shouldn't have done that. But then she, it all sort of starts pouring out, and she's really talking to Jack about it, saying, I feel like I'm being pulled in 1,000 different directions, and I'm not sure which way is home. Which was such a dramatic moment, a dramatic line, and I really felt for her in the moment because I thought that summed it up really well. To me, though, I think Jack would be home. I think Jack is the one that she sees as the comforting guy, her source of comfort. And so I kind of thought maybe, I never really entirely believed she was going to tell him, because Y&R was leading us to think that this may be it. And I thought, I don't think she's just going to confess. But I didn't think she was going to leave him either. She tells Jack that she needs a break, that it's just whatever's going on between them is not working, and she needs to get out of there, which I think is also very sad. I'm not sure if a break is exactly what this couple needs. Yet at the same time, I don't think there's any going back for Jack and Phyllis. I'm not sure that this is something that really can be repaired. You know, either you tell him the truth and he's going to dump you, or you keep the lie and it's going to just continue to eat you, and it's going to inhibit any kind of intimacy you want to have with him for the future. So in a way, I think the better choice would be to probably choose neither of them. I mean, if you're talking doing the right thing here, I would say probably she needs to choose neither of them. Yeah, I'm sure that Billy will probably jump for joy at the idea that she left Jack, and he'll probably take that in his own way, because it was all fine and good. He told her that she could have her time to figure out what she wanted, and then he just kind of withdrew that offer and that supportiveness, and kind of had a sort of a fit and sort of, I don't know, pulled away from her. But I just have a feeling that he's going to see it as encouragement that she's left Jack, whereas poor Jack doesn't really know what's wrong with his wife. At the very end of Friday's show, he's just standing outside of the hotel room door, wishing that he could say something to her, wishing that he could bond with her, but not knowing what to do. I can't believe she's gone to live at the athletic club. You know, that's probably, you know, whether it's once or many times, that suite at the athletic club is probably going to become she and Billy's sex palace. That's probably where they're going to get some extra sex on. I can't believe it. Half of this town lives in a hotel. Back to Adam's predicament and Adam's trial. At the very end of last Friday's show, Victor was giving him this get out of jail free card. You come to work at Newman Enterprises and I will magically make the real pages of Sage's diary appear. And Adam is so incensed by this blackmail that he turns down the deal. And I was so proud of him. Just watching Victor turn and I mean, go from being so weak in a hospital bed to having this blackmail over his son. It was really revolting. And I was proud of Adam for kind of spitting on the deal. I mean, even as Adam was walking out the door saying, "No thanks," Victor's saying to him, "Oh, you'll be back," screaming out the door to him, "You'll be back." Oh, Victor, But oddly, for a change, can you believe Chelsea wants Adam to take the deal? He goes right back home and tells her, "Can you believe what Victor did, blackmailing me to work at the company again?" Yet Chelsea sees this as a necessary evil, unfortunately. I mean, would you rather be in jail for the rest of your life or working at Newman Enterprises? There's really no comparison. One of these options allows you to stay home with me and stay home with our son, and one doesn't. So I can understand why she wanted him to take the deal. It's just unfortunate that Victor had to put them in this indecent proposal, although not in that way, type situation. He really forced Adam's hand. Adam did, in fact, go back to Victor and tell him, "Fine, you win. Fine. I will come back to work at Newman." And Victor implies that the pages of the diary will appear. And just as Adam says yes to that, Dylan gets a phone call, and all of a sudden he is at a storage locker pulling out an envelope, which we assume is going to have the evidence that Victor has made good on his part of the deal. Adam and Chelsea are at home popping the champagne until, unfortunately, that champagne and that celebration went flat. But we had champagne. Aww. So sad. Adam and Chelsea's hopes are completely dashed as the envelope that Dylan is discovering is empty. Now that envelope is being discovered as empty, just as the mystery woman, who we've all been talking about for weeks and weeks now, pays a visit to Victor in the hospital. And who should it be other than Miss Chloe? Yay! The big Chloe reveal happens this week. I can't say I was shocked, honestly. I mean, first we heard her voice. We saw the back of her head, and then it was just the voice, like Y&R very slowly revealing this to us. And then they spin the camera around, and sure enough, it's old Chloe in a wig there talking to Victor. I thought that was very, very exciting, and I'm really excited to hear how you guys felt about it. So let's make that this week's poll question. Chloe's big return. Yay or nay? I want to know if you guys like the character of Chloe. Are you excited about the idea of having her back on the show? Whether it's short term or long term, I don't know. Or are you not feeling Chloe? I mean, she had her fair share of naysayers when she was back on the show, a couple years ago. And I'm sure that some people still feel that way now. So I'm kind of wondering if you guys like the idea of what Chloe could bring to the table here, or if you would just rather not. Because I think we are seeing a very different version of Chloe. I mean, it's like almost like this is sort of the arc of the way characters happen on the show sometimes. They come on to the show, the character's introduced as being kind of crazy, and then Y&R redeems them, and they get into this comfort zone, and they're completely normal, nice, sweet characters, or, maybe not completely normal. I don't know if anybody on the show is completely normal, but then it seems like Chloe's trajectory went right back to completely crazy, which is something that they don't usually do with a character, because the Chloe that, I guess the Chloe pre-Delia's death is pretty different from post-Delia's death Chloe, and of course that makes sense, but I mean, she is really, really whacked out. I tell ya, I wonder if it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. YRChat.com is where you can cast your vote and let me know if you're pro Chloe coming back or anti Chloe coming back. Seriously, watching Victor and Chloe in the same room is like watching two crazy people in the same room together. I mean, I'm looking at them and I'm like, I don't know who's more nuts, Chloe or Victor. He reveals that he's pretty much been helping Chloe all along. So we get this sense of, oh, Victor and Chloe have known each other for a long time. Victor says that he's fully aware that Chloe has this new baby girl, and apparently he was taking care of her, the baby, while Chloe was in the hospital at certain points. So this is an alliance that's been going on that we just haven't known about. And now Chloe is back and she wants retribution against Adam. Her motive in this the entire time has been to seek vengeance on Adam, the man who ran over her little girl. And she is not happy that Victor double-crossed her. So she decides to double-cross Victor. Oh, you're going to go back on our plan and you're going to testify on Adam's behalf after everything that I've done, after switching the pages of the diary. Presumably, Chloe was the one who had something to do with the original poison test results, and all that stuff was Chloe's hard work and to frame Adam. And then at the very last minute, Victor decides to testify on his behalf. So she says, if you're going to do that to me, well, then guess what? I'm not going to let you derail my plan here. Chloe snatches the real pages of Sage's diary out from that envelope, which is why Dylan found the envelope empty. And she not only snatched those pages, but she enjoyed it. I mean, you really got the sense from watching Chloe and Victor's interaction that she knew she had a leg up. She knew that she was sealing Adam's fate, and she loved it. This is what she's been working toward. This has been her goal all along, and she's not going to let anybody, including Victor Newman, stand in her way of that. Victor tried to counterbalance her. I mean, she says, yeah, I did take those. Maybe I did take those pages of the diary. Maybe I even torched them. I do. Mama likes matches, I think she said. And Victor tries to counter her by saying, I could take your daughter away. So what do you want to do? Do you want revenge on Adam, or do you want me to take your daughter away? This is your choice. And she just really looks at him with this, you got nothing on me, old man, kind of attitude, which I thought was great. There's nothing he can do. There's nothing anybody can do. If Chloe holds the key to Adam's freedom, she's not going to hand it over to Victor or anybody else anytime soon. And so Adam's trial is moving forward this week. He and Chelsea are completely dashed. They thought this deal with Victor was going to be the thing that they needed to save him. And now not only do they not have that, but Michael is advising Adam to take a plea deal. So he's at this point in the story walking into what he knows is going to be a jail sentence. There's no, will I be guilty? Won't I be guilty? It's just going to be, I'm going to jail. It's only a question of how long. And we saw that wonderful preview for Monday's show where Adam is walking into the elevator and we've got this cool new lighting effect. It almost looked like nighttime or primetime CBS or something. There was just this cool lamp showing on Adam, almost just knowing that he was walking into an unfortunate fate. So I think probably next week's show is going to be dominated by Adam's trial. Now, the other piece of the puzzle here is that Natalie seems to be on the case of cracking the code on who the mystery woman is. She and Kevin have been working together to try to figure out who it is on the tape, and Natalie seems to be the one that maybe got a face shot. We didn't really see much of that, except that we saw Natalie's reaction to maybe learning some new information. I'm guessing that Natalie probably won't know who on earth Chloe is, but Kevin will. Natalie's going to show that photo or screenshot or whatever to Kevin, and he's going to know exactly who it is and what Chloe's motive would be. But even if Kevin and Natalie are able to uncover Chloe's identity and bring it to Adam's trial, will Chloe's mere presence be enough to get Adam off the hook? She's not going to willingly hand over the diary pages. She probably burned them. So the evidence that Chloe framed him is at this point almost as circumstantial as the evidence that Adam killed Constance. So I don't know if that's going to help him. Although I don't know. I mean, the Chloe did run down Adam with her car at his last trial. I'd say that's at least a strong indicator that she doesn't like the guy and might have a motive to frame him. It really drives me nuts that everyone in Genoa City just assumes that Victor's getting out of jail now, and B, that everyone, with the exception of Jack and Phyllis, is forgiving Victor and welcoming him back with open arms. Last week's poll results, the question was, has Victor been punished enough? 59% said absolutely not. Victor still has a long way to go for forgiveness. Yet we had 41%, which is a really strong minority, saying, I think it's time to forgive Victor and move on. I definitely fall into the let's move on camp, but only for storyline, only because I'm tired of jail. I'm ready to get out of jail. So my only reason for wanting to forgive Victor would just be so that we can have a different type of story. But my heart still says this is ridiculous. Victor hasn't done anything to earn his freedom. And it just doesn't make any sense to me that him breaking out of custody is enough to get his sentence at least reduced or get him out on parole or whatever it is. And it is equally absurd that everybody just assumes it is. everybody is walking around town right now with this new love of Victor and complete conviction that he will be coming home soon. It doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. In addition, as much of a Nikki and Victor fan as I am, I had a hard time looking at Nikki a little bit this week. She comes kind of prancing into Victor's hospital room and she's got the divorce papers and she does this little move where she ceremoniously tears those divorce papers in half. And it's just like, Nikki, I mean, he gave you one reason to love him again, and it just completely wipes away everything else. Again, I think it's only for story that I'm okay with them getting back together, because if this was reality, there would be no way. If Nikki was my friend, I would tell her to never go back to him ever. In fact, I loved Victor's line as Nikki was ripping up the divorce papers. He said, should we keep those on file for next time? You might want to. You might want to. The other thing is that Victoria is going to bat for Victor too. It's shocking. Am I the only one that is shocked by this? Did Y&R just realize that they waited too long with Victor in prison? Maybe they stretched it out because they didn't know where they were going with other types of storylines, and now they're just trying to find a quick and easy way out. That's the only thing that I can assume makes sense, because just the way that the Victor forgiveness has washed over all of the characters in a week's time frame, when their hatred of him was so vicious, it's unbelievable to me. I thought it was interesting, by the way, that Travis is talking to Victoria a lot lately, and he's not exactly neutral on the subject of the family getting Victor out of prison and Victoria stepping aside. Almost, if I had a suspicious mind, like Travis has some sort of vested interest in Victor staying in jail sometime. Almost like he and Luca are on the same side. I don't know. He seemed to take a particular interest. I mean, I agree that he seems to love her. And did he say I love you this week? I think he did. I mean, obviously he has a lot of affection for her, and I like that. And I'm not doubting that, but did anybody else find Travis's interest in Victoria's business just a little bit too nosy, a little bit too convenient, maybe? I don't know. You'll have to let me know how you feel about that, too. And then there's the other thing where it almost kind of felt like when Travis was suggesting that he and Victoria should just get on a boat and sail away, it almost felt like he was just trying to get her out of the way. I know this is me. This is probably just me being suspicious, because you could read it like totally romantic, but I'm always looking for some twist somewhere, and the oil spill storyline still hasn't really been resolved. So part of me thought, is he just trying to get her out of the way for Luca? So maybe so that Luca could take over the company, and that's why they're both working to keep Victor in prison? I don't know. Just a theory. Travis wants to sell the bar all of a sudden, buy a boat and sail away with her, but Victoria won't leave. I mean, honestly, she says that she's staying so that Billy can still spend time with the kids. She doesn't want to take her children away from their father, but I think she's looking forward to the idea of working side by side with Daddy again. She probably won't even mind when Victor brings Adam into the company, because Victoria running the company isn't good enough. I'm sure Victoria will just roll over and accept being demoted. Oh, Dr. Neville really screwed up this time. He may ultimately be leaving the town in disgrace. I hate seeing him like this. and I hate knowing that his end is coming. It was weird because at the beginning of the week, he and Ashley were touting these miraculous results of Hilary's. The protocol is working. Everything is going well. But at the same time, Hilary is feeling sick, and she's doing this damsel in distress, seemingly a damsel in distress, sick routine, which Jack picks up on right away. Hilary is saying she feels all weak, but then Jack talks to Ashley, sees Hilary's test results, and thinks, ugh, are you kidding me? She kissed me last week, and now she's playing sick. I've had enough of this. So Jack confronts her about this, and she just seems almost too weak to fight it off. Jack, in fact, he wanted to fire her. He was really close to it, but Hilary ended up collapsing, and now she's in the hospital. She's surrounded, of course, by Devon and Neville and Ashley, and Devon is looking for another doctor to finish what Neville started, which I will say, in Dr. Neville's defense, it was a clinical trial. There are no guarantees. I mean, if you enter into any kind of experimental treatment thing, you can't really blame them if something goes wrong. It's not FDA approved. You were kind of taking a chance in the first place, and unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be working out for you. But Ashley's still standing by Dr. Neville, even though she's furious with him. But maybe he'll be able to pull a Hail Mary just in time to pull Hilary back from the brink of death. And I don't know, maybe just in time for Hilary and Devon to reunite. Whatever happened to Cain wanting a better job? Remember when he was sort of longing to be involved in all of these business dealings that were going on around town? And now he's still just a floater. I don't even know much what he does. It was so great seeing him in the scene at Billy's house. And then, of course, seeing another classic Lily and Cain lovemaking scene on Friday. Thank God for a zipper front dress. Cain spun her around and unzipped that thing twice. Oh man, zip zip. That's the sound of daytime. Zip zip. It was kind of weird because Sharon and Dylan had a lovemaking scene too, and Sharon was wearing that zipper front dress. It was like a zipper and a wrap, and it's funny because at the beginning of the week I thought, well, that's an interesting dress. It looks really good on her. If I would have paid any attention, I should have known zipper front equals sex scene later. And indeed, Sharon and Dylan have that had a pretty hot lovemaking scene of their own too. I needed something to balance out all of the Sharon and Dylan innuendos all week. I mean, every time Dylan goes on about how open and honest their relationship is together, and how good he is at telling when someone's lying to him. Oh, he has a built-in lie detector, all right. It's just shameful. It's humiliating. I can't even look Dylan in the face. Oh man. Y&R, was speaking of storylines that maybe got stuck, that's definitely one of them too. Although I did kind of like the idea of Sharon and Dylan and Abby and Stitch having a little double date there on Friday. I don't know, I kind of like the idea of them being couple friends. It seems like we don't have a whole lot of good friendships on the show the way we used to. And Sharon hasn't had a good friend, I don't think, since Drusilla. So what if it was Abby? What if Sharon and Abby became friends? Because Dylan and Stitch are already friends. I think that would be fun. Plus, oh Lord, Stitch needs some help. I mean, he needs to talk to somebody. He's going through a lot, and instead of redistributing some of his sorrow and anxiety to his wife, which understandably he did. It's understandable why he doesn't want to do it, but he should. That's what your partner is there for. He should be leaning on her, and instead he is just distant, and there is an awkwardness between them and in the air around them. And certainly there was some awkwardness when, for crying out loud, Ashley kind of got up on Stitch and was questioning him and giving him advice. It's awkward to let your mother-in-law give you marital advice. Then again, most guys probably haven't slept with their mother-in-law. Victor's already been shot once today. Oh man, that's last week's Who Said It quote, and it was Paul who uttered that wonderful phrase, Victor has already been shot once today. It just seemed so soapy to me, because it's entirely feasible that Victor would get shot once in the morning, maybe once in the afternoon, and, a nightcap, just to round things out. Quite a few people guessed that it was Paul who said that line. Angela, T. Nicole, Sonia, Troy, Michelle, Sharita, Nancy, Tony, Jasmine, and Beatrice. All of you guys guessed it right. Congratulations. And I have a new one for you this week. Do you know who said, I've had enough paranoia for one day? I thought that was a pretty good line. I've had enough paranoia for one day. If you think you know who said that quote, you can go to yrchat.com to leave your guess. And if you get it right, then I will give you your big shout out on next week's Y&R Chat. Now, I a couple weeks ago started hiding the guesses or having you submit the guesses to me directly instead of in the comments where everybody can see everybody's guesses. One of the unintended consequences of my new method of doing things is that I can very easily tell when someone is using a fake name or submitting multiple entries. So unfortunately now I can't unsee it. I can't unknow what I've known. So now I'm aware when anybody enters in a fake name, and I'm not going to count those. I'm sad that I even have to say that, but please just do one entry per person. Just use your real name. You can just use your first name or just use a consistent name. I don't care what name you use, but please don't submit multiple entries using multiple names. It just creates more work for me on the back end. But so we'll just do Scout's honor here, you guys, except that know that I can tell. And I'm just going to ignore those from here on out. So if you think you know who has had enough paranoia for one day, you can go to yrchat.com, leave your one guess, and if you get it right, I will give you your shout out next week. Well, I hate to do it, but I think that needs to be just about it for me for now. I hate skipping your comments. Of course, I read all of your comments all week, but it takes me an extra probably 45 minutes to bring all of the comments together and organize them and sort them and all that good stuff. And I gotta go. I got my family thing, which it's in the Midwest, so you can just imagine that we're all in denim. Just imagine a sea of denim shirts. Nah, I'm just kidding. So I will get back to reading your comments out loud here next week for sure. So you can go to yrchat.com to continue to leave text comments there through Facebook and YouTube. And of course, my voicemail number is 309-588-4569. I read and listen to every single comment, and the good ones get put into the Y&R chat, and we talk about them and analyze them, and I will be back next week to do that. So I love ya guys. I hope everybody has a good day, a good week, and I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.